The 22nd day of July 2020 it is. Good morning and welcome to KBC Channel 1 Newscheck. My name is Njue. Welcome. Well, talking about COVID, which has been the topic of discussion for a couple of months now. Yes, the numbers keep rising, and yes, the government has projected that there could be a surge in the number of cases right here in the country, but that is not all gloom, because let's just focus on the last 24 hours. We registered the highest recoveries reported in 24 hours at 642. Of course, a majority of the patients were at home, but unfortunately, also yesterday, we did register the highest number of death in a single 24 hours. And at 112, so taking the number to 250. Only 3 counties, as we speak, have not registered a single case, but skeptics and also people have argued that looking at Baringo, a population of over 600,000 people and only 169 have been tested. West Pokot cases, 620, over 620 residents, and only 115 tests have been done, while looking at the whole nation, we have over 250,000 as we speak. Samburu, population of over 300,000, but only 114 tests. But at the end of the day, we also have to look at the number and the welfare of the people tasked to be on the front line against or on the war against COVID-19. We will be discussing the welfare of health workers, and will be joined by officials from the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentist Union, which yesterday gave the government 2 weeks to put their house in order. They claimed that there are more doctors who are unemployed, yet we have to seek help from other countries. They're lamenting about the quality of PPEs. They are lamenting about a number of issues which we will be looking at. But before then, we also have experts to try and put this matter into focus. And before I'm joined by Bishop Mike Browin from Nakuru, let's have a look at the reporter's diary. That are just some of the things that my colleagues are following up, and will be keeping you updated on the same. Joining me now is Bishop Mike Browin from Nakuru. And remember, we're coming to you live from the broadcasting house here in the county of Nairobi. And we are also live on Facebook, on YouTube, and also on Twitter. Not forgetting our KBC app, so that you can make sure you keep in touch even when you are on the move. Bishop, if you can hear me, salamu nyingi.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Fine, thank you.
How have you been?
I've been very, very busy, because now we have been able to resume churches.
Oh, yes.
And so we have been working so hard to get people back to the house of the Lord and to encourage people.
Did you actually follow the regulation? I know you have a very big church of 100 people only.
We had 7 services. We break down to 7 services. So that was the plan. We broke down into 7 services, whereby we started at 6 and we finished at 6, but we kept our distance. And also we decided to be doing services every day, so that the members that cannot catch us on Sunday, they can catch up any day of the week, because God is God of Sabbath. So any day you set to worship him, he will be there. So that's what we have exactly done. And we have seen it very successful, because the truth is, the way the government are saying, there is increase, but at the same time, it is personal responsibility. Personal responsibility. It's very, very important for Kenyans to wake up on this reality, that unless we take care of ourselves, and we keep on expecting the government to tell us what we should do, I think that's where we go wrong, and that's where we get ourselves into trouble.
Yes, and Bishop, there are some quarters who had talked about the number, 100 people. Some halls can even accommodate 15,000 people, and they said, we are not going to open because just 100 people, that's just our staff. Would you like to see perhaps the number increased for big churches?
Personally, I would like to see the number, but also I believe what the government and the experts are telling us is very, very important. Because I know to control over 1,000 people in the same manner and be able to do the right thing is absolutely difficult at the moment, especially when we are on increase. If we were declining and things were not going as fast as it was, I would think that would be okay. So my advice to people is that why don't we do this 100 and make it successful, and prove that we have been able to keep it right? Then there we can demand for more. You know, the Bible is a very powerful book. It says, whoever is faithful for the few can be trusted for many. So now people are still complaining, and we have not been able to be trusted with the few. So personally, I'm still on the demand that let us do the 100. We are been allowed to do as many services as possible. Rather than saying we have a bigger hall or we can go to the ground, because that will make people go outside and do it outside their churches, and that will be also a risk, because I am not personally ready to risk the life of people, because it only takes one person who can sneak in and you get trouble for many, many people.
Yes, and on Sunday, a lot of people lamented that the government, talking about 58 years, people who are over 58 years are not allowed in places of worship. And a lot of churches and places of worship on Sunday and on Friday for mosques, had a problem telling people, old people or people over 58 years, not to enter into places of worship. They're talking about this is the crucial time that we need to have that spiritual nourishment. What is your take on that?
Yeah, my take on the two things that I think that should be reviewed is the age limit and even of the children, because the truth is, to say children under 13 cannot come in, that's a little bit underbelly, because we need those children so much. And most of the bishops, by the way, as I'm talking, I'm probably one of the youngest bishops. Most of the bishops, they are over 58. So you're trying to tell even the people who are in charge of that church, they cannot come to church. All they needed to do was to make special people of that age can have their own time or can get an opportunity to be able to run their own churches in the way. So I think that of the age need to be reviewed, but the one for the underlying condition, people who are with underlying diseases like diabetes, things that can easily attract COVID in case of there is someone who is affected there. I think those one can stay away. But for the people of 58 and the children, they can be allowed. And and then even the sick, we can minister to them. We can come up with a way we can reach people in their home, or in a way we can reach people who are with underlying condition without necessarily coming to the church. But I believe this, if we are able to encourage people who are feeling well, because there are old people who are very fit. I have seen someone who is 70, 80 years, and they look young than some of the 40 people who are having some trouble in their body. So age is nothing but number. People should be allowed to come to church as long as they feel they can be strong.
And are you, Bishop, are you disturbed by the number of people contravening the COVID-19 regulations? And here, not only Kenyans of all walks of life, but also leaders. Are you disturbed by that situation?
Really,
remember, we are also
by
projecting a surge in the coming days.
Thank you so much for that question. That really annoys me so much, because some of the people don't think this is a real thing or the reality. I know, okay, the truth is sometimes we have some exaggeration from different quarters, but the truth is COVID is real. It destroys people, and the only way the nations that have already succeeded to put it under control It is because they took the rightful measure. They were washing their hands, they kept distance, they kept even things like curfew, which we are given, because the truth is when people go to the pubs, after they are drunk, they forget about all this, the real thing. And as I have said earlier, it only takes one affected person to affect everybody. So we may not be all infected, but we can all be affected. So it is very, very important that people, especially leaders, to lead by example. I feel so bad when politicians say, oh, we should keep social distancing, and then you find themselves, they are hugging everybody, greeting everybody, and they are on TV. This sends a wrong message to the people. I have been, today we were doing a market program where we are talking to people in the market that even if they're in the market, we should know. The truth is this number looks low in Kenya because very few people have been tested. The question is, if people will be tested, how many will they be found?